Hello everyone and welcome back to Microsoft Dynamics 365 Custom Workflow Development course.
In this video, we will see
How you can create or develop a custom workflow activity.
in Dynamics 365.
In last lecture we have seen the basics of custom workflow activity. Let us now see how you can create or develop a custom workflow activity from scratch.
Having said that, subscribe to Dynamics Academy and press the bell icon on your YouTube app to never miss a video from Dynamics Academy.
So in this lecture we'll see the step-by-step process of writing a custom workflow activity. So first of all, you need to download the Dynamics 365 SDK. It provides all the information and required assemblies and many more helpful samples for writing custom workflow activities. After that, you need to open your Visual Studio and you have to create a project of type class library. So now I will open my Visual Studio and show you. This is our Visual Studio and I am going to create a new project. It is very simple step, and the template for that project you need to select is of type class library. So here you can see I am selecting the Visual C# and a class library project of .NET Framework, and you can give a meaningful name to that project. I am giving a name called custom workflow demo, and then you can click OK. So the moment you click OK, it will take some time and create that project. So now you can see a new project has been created, and by default Visual Studio creates a default class 1 within that new project solution. So let us now see the next step. So after creating that project, we need to add these two important assemblies that are found in the Dynamics 365 SDK bin folder, which are microsoft.xrm.sdk.dll and microsoft.xrm.workflow.dll. So we need to add these two assembly reference from SDK folder and another DLL from the global assembly cache, that is system.activities.dll. So first let me add these two DLLs from our SDK folder. So in order to add references, you have to right click the references. You can click add references. You'll open this reference manager dialog box, and in the browse tab you have to navigate to the folder where you have downloaded SDK. So I have downloaded my SDK in this folder. So within that folder you will have tools, and within that plugin registration folder you will have microsoft.xrm.sdk.dll and microsoft.xrm.sdk.workflow.dll. You have to add these two assembly references in your project. So after selecting both of them, the moment you click add and click OK here, you will see those two DLLs are added in this reference section. And after that you need to add one more reference from the assemblies level, that is system.activities. You will find system.activities at the assembly level. So after adding that reference system.activities, now we will see what is the next step. So after that, adding these references, required references, you have to add a class and you have to use following using directories, that is using system.activities, using microsoft.xrm.sdk and microsoft.xrm.workflow. So first we need to add a class. So Visual Studio has already added a default class to my project. So after deleting this, so I will delete the default class, and let me now show you how you can add a new class. So in order to add a new class, right click your solution, and in the add and the last section you will get a class. So you can add a new class by using add new item dialog box. So here you have to select add new class and you can give a meaningful name. So the name I have given sample custom workflow. So now you can see I have added the class, and after that we need to use three using directories. I have added the required using directories, three using directories, which are system.activities, using microsoft.xrm.sdk and microsoft.xrm.sdk.workflow. And the next step is to make the class inherit from code activity class and give it a public access modifier as shown below. We need to inherit our class from code activity class, and we need to define our class as a public. You can see here that by default there is no access modifier defined for our class, so by default it will be private. So let me now make it public. So I made my class as public, and you need to inherit from code activity class. So now you can see I have inherited my class from the code activity class, and you can see a new error has been shown here by the Visual Studio IntelliSense. If you check the error, what it asks is to implement this abstract class. Since this code activity is an abstract class, so we need to implement it. So if you click here, now if you implement this class, here you can see you need to override the default execute method within your sample custom workflow class or the new class that you have added to your project. And you can remove this line. So within that execute method, your custom business logic will reside. You can see add the functionality to the class by adding the execute method. You can specify the input and output parameters. Your entire business logic will be present within that execute method. So you need to implement the business logic in the execute method itself. What business logic that we are going to add in this demo, I will show you after 5 minutes, because first we'll complete the remaining steps. Right now simply consider that complete business logic will be present within execute method. So after that, what steps we need to take? After adding that business logic, at project properties level you need to sign that assembly. So custom workflow activity and plugin assembly must be signed in order to be able to deploy in Dynamics 365 instance. So after your code is written, or even before the code is written, what you can do, you can navigate to the project properties. You have to right click your project, and in the properties section here you can see the signing option here in the properties page. The moment you click here, you have to select this checkbox, sign in the assembly, and in the drop down you have to select new and unselect this, protect your key with password, and give any meaningful signing key name. So I given a string called custom workflow sign, and if you click OK, now you will be able to notice that one more SNK file has been added to your project. So that means your assembly will be now signed in. So now if you build this project, it will generate an DLL that will be signed DLL, and you can register that DLL with the help of plugin registration tool in Dynamics 365 instance. So let us now see the last step. You can compile the assembly and deploy it using the plugin registration tool. So these were the complete step-by-step process of writing a custom workflow activity, registering custom workflow activity Dynamics 365 instance. So let us now understand this with the help of a scenario. Scenario is that you need to calculate the age of an employee and check if it is greater than 18 years, and if it is less than 18 years, then we need to stop the workflow. So by default you will not be able to achieve this scenario with out of the box workflow. We have a date of birth field on our employee entity. So using the date of birth field, we can pass that date of birth field as an input to our custom workflow, and our custom workflow will calculate the age based on the input provided, and it will generate an output of total number of years or the age of that particular employee, and it will pass the age of that employee as an output parameter. So let me now implement this logic in our newly created solution. So now you can see that I have implemented our custom business logic. First, I have defined an input parameter. Input parameter is of type datetime, and here you can see the label of that particular input parameter will be shown up at the time of registering this workflow. And in my execute method, I have implemented our business logic. In this step, I am reading the value from that input parameter. So in this line of code, I am calculating the age, and I am passing this calculated age into my output parameter, which is final age, and the value is set in this line of code. So it is pretty much very simple. So now I will save this, build this project. Here you can see the project is built successfully. After building this project, we need to register this newly generated DLL into Dynamics 365 instance with the help of plugin registration tool. So now I will open my plugin registration tool and quickly register this DLL. Right now I'm not giving you the detailed steps of registration. Don't worry, the next module itself is based on how you can deploy and register a Dynamics 365 custom workflow, where we will see in detail the step-by-step process of deploying and registering a custom workflow activity. So now you can see that I have registered one more assembly, so it is showing me the registration is successful. So after you have registered your custom workflow activity, you need to understand that custom workflow activity will not trigger automatically. So for that you need to define one more system workflow which will act as the triggering point, and in that workflow you can add the newly created custom workflow as a step to achieve the desired business objective. Create a new workflow. I have given a name as code test. Category is workflow, and for which entity? This is for employee entity. And you can make decision whether you want to run this workflow in background and this is a new blank process. So after deciding all other properties like available to run, the scope, and you have to select when you want to trigger this workflow. After selecting all these things, you have to add the business logic. Here you need to add the different steps in order to achieve your business objective. After clicking add step, here you can see one more custom workflow step has been registered, that is custom workflow demo. This is the project name or the assembly name, and if you click this arrow here you can see the assembly name dot the class name, which will be the step that you want to add in this workflow. So tomorrow if you add one more class to your project library, then here instead of one option you will have two options. These all these items that you are able to see the last section are all custom workflow steps that you can use within your workflow. So right now I am clicking this sample custom workflow. You can give a brief description here, and you have to set the properties. The moment you click set properties, here it will show you all the input parameters that the custom workflow is expecting. The input parameter name is date of birth. What is the data type of that input parameter? It is of type date time. Whether it is required or optional. Right now it is an optional parameter, but you can define that as a required parameter within your code. And what is the value? Here you can pass a static value as well, but we don't want to pass static value because we need to pass the date of birth of the employee. So now in order to pass the dynamic value, you can use this form assistant. So here you can see look for employee, and there is one more drop down. So if you click on that, right now you can see there are 4 date time fields on the employee entity. The form assistant is intelligent enough to understand that this parameter is expecting only date time data type, so it is already pre-filtered with all the fields that are of type date time. So you have to select the date of birth field and click add, and after selecting it, if you click OK, now the dynamic value, whatever the date of birth that you will pass at the time of creating an employee, will be passed as an input to the newly created custom workflow. So now you have set the input parameter. So after setting that, you will get an output parameter as well. So here you can add one more check condition. So here you can check the condition. So here you need to select the local values parameter. Here you can see the calculate age is our custom workflow, and final age is the output parameter generated by that custom workflow. You can have more than one output parameters. That all output parameters will be listed out here, but in our workflow we have only one output parameter, that is final age. You need to check the condition whether the calculated age or the final age is greater than or equal to 18 years. Then you will allow the employee record to be created. So if the employee age is greater than 18 years, then you will create the required assets and you will allocate the assets to the newly created employee. Otherwise, you need to stop this workflow and you need to cancel, and you can set the properties. You can give a custom message as well. So this is how you can register a custom workflow step in your Dynamics 365. So now you need to save and activate this workflow. So now this workflow is active. So let us now see whether that custom workflow is triggering properly or not. So in order to check that, I will create an employee record. So here I am creating a new employee. Today is 2nd April and I am creating an employee whose date of birth is just falling yesterday, so that means it is less than 18 years, and we'll try to see whether this employee record gets created or not. What will happen here? And I'm trying to save this record. So now you can see this record has been created. I will refresh this record and let us now check the background process as well. So here you can see our workflow has been triggered, but the status of that workflow is cancelled. And if you open that system job, then you will be able to see it has first passed the date of birth as input parameter to our custom workflow activity, and it has checked if the age is greater than 18 years. So that condition was not met, so it went to else block where it has stopped executing that workflow with the status as cancelled. So that is why the status region of this workflow is cancelled here. But there is a problem, right? Our idea was to stop this employee being created at the first time itself if the age of that employee is less than 18 years. But here the workflow got triggered, but still employee record got created. So what is the issue here? So the issue is that our workflow is running on the background. If you make this workflow run on the real time, then this record itself will not get created. So let me now make our existing background workflow to run in real time, and then we'll try to achieve this. So in order to make the changes to our workflow, first you need to open that workflow and deactivate it. So after deactivating the workflow, you can see a button to convert this workflow to a real-time workflow. So the moment you click this button, so right now you can see it has converted that workflow from background workflow to real-time workflow, and you can see a difference in properties section as well, and everything is same. I will just save and activate this workflow. So after converting it to real-time workflow, we'll try to run this workflow again. One more time I will create a new employee. Again I'm passing the date of birth as 1st April 2019, which is yesterday's date, and I'm trying to save this record. So here you can see a business process error has been thrown. The message is showing that employee should be greater than 18 years. This custom message that I have defined in our else block. So now you can see that our custom workflow is working fine. So let me now adjust the age of this user. So I just updated the year, everything is same. So now this date of birth is way beyond 18 years. If I'm trying to save this record, this time let us now see what happens. So now you can see this record has been created successfully, and not only that, now you can see the asset allocation record has been also created. So this proves that our custom workflow is running properly. This is how you can create a custom workflow activity. So on that note, I will wind up this lecture, and with that I will end this module as well. And in our next module we will see how you can register and deploy a custom workflow. So I hope to see you all in the next module. Till then, bye bye and take care.
I thank you for watching this video till the end. So if you have learned something new out of this video, then please like, share and subscribe to Dynamics Academy, and also press the bell icon so that you will never miss any update whenever we release a new video to our Dynamics Academy YouTube channel. And on that note, I end this video and take your leave. Hope to see you all in the next video. Till then, bye bye and take care. And once again, thank you for your time.